Hey guys, I know I did the sourdough recipe before, but that was like more on the sourdough and then in a bread maker. But I'm going to show you how to make the actual like traditional sourdough bread. It's pretty easy to do and it tastes delicious. It looks delicious. It is not like what it is in the bread maker, but let me show you. So it's pretty much only 1 1/3 cups of water, 2 teaspoons of salt, and I'm going to add it into my flour here, and it's 3 1/2 cups of flour. Then with the starter, it is 1/2 cup of starter, but I kind of wanted to show you this little thing. These are measuring cups. It's a chicken, and inside the chicken is an egg, and inside the egg is a chick. How cute is that? And each one is a different measurement. So anyway, this one is 1/2. You can see my starter is like a pancake mix. Okay, you're gonna use a wooden spoon just to mix it around. Oh, I think that's okay. So I'm going to mix this first just to kind of get it mixed in. And then I'll use, blend it into the water. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the flour. And you'll just use the wooden spoon, mix it around a little bit just to get a dough texture, and then you're gonna leave it covered for like 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we'll come back and I will show you what to do. Now this particular recipe that I had already made this bread and it's delicious. This particular recipe though, you let it set for like 6 to 12 hours, and then after that, you put it in the refrigerator for overnight and let it do its second rise in the refrigerator, and then take it out, and that's when you make the bread. So I am going to do it. You can leave it out for it to rise naturally, but it's a little bit late in the day today. So I am going to do the whole refrigerator thing and then come back tomorrow. But you can kind of see it's just kind of like a sticky dough. I'm going to mix this around a little bit better. My spoon, and then I'm going to kind of just cover it up and let it sit for 30 minutes, and it should rise. But it's a simple recipe. It's literally, water, flour, and salt. That's it. And your starter, your sourdough starter. You can't get any more basic ingredients than that. It is a little sticky, you can see in my hands. It should stiffen up. If not, I will add a little bit more flour, but it should stiffen up. So we're going to cover this, and then we'll be back in 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes is up. So we are going to add a little bit more flour. I just want to show you what it looks like. Okay. Down a little. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold it into each other. So you're going to stretch it. You can leave it in the bowl. Push it in the middle. Stretch it on the end. Let's see if you can see me. Stretch it on the end. Put it in the middle. And you're going to do that on all the sides. Here, you know what? Let me take it out of the bowl though, so you can see what it looks like. Let me get a little bit of a floured surface. Okay, so let's see here. Push you down a little. All right, so you're going to take it on the end, push it in the middle, and do this on all 4 sides and just kind of stretch it and put it in. You're going to do this and then leave it for 30 minutes, and then you're going to do this 2 more times. So after 30 minutes, you're going to take it, stretch it, and fold it in. And then you're going to wait another 30 minutes, and then you're going to do that again. And then we'll be back, and I'll show you the rest of the steps after that. I'm on my last stretch of the dough. We waited 30 minutes, I stretched it, another 30 minutes, I stretched it again, another 30 minutes, and this is where we're at right now. So I'm going to do my last stretch. I put a little flour down. You could see it is still a little sticky, but not as sticky. And you could see it's more of like a dough looking thing. And when we first did it, it was a little choppy, I guess you could say. It wasn't real formed, but as it sat, it did become more dough-like. I'm just stretching and putting it in. So now after I do this, I'm going to cover it, put it back in my bowl. I'm going to cover it, and then I'm going to let it sit until it doubles in size. So that's going to be anywhere from 6 to 12 hours. So at that time, we will come back. I'll show you what it looks like, and you can see how it had doubled, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to put it in my bowl. This is what it looks like now. It's not fully covering the bowl, as you can see. I'm just going to put my plastic wrap back on it. I'm going to put it right over the dough, not over the bowl. All right, we're going to leave that go, and we'll meet back here. Okay, we're about 6 hours in. This is what our dough looks like. It has pretty much doubled in size. It's pretty warm in my kitchen, so it does rise a little quickly on the quicker side. You'll notice it is a little bit sticky. But what you're going to want to do is put a little flour down, and we're going to put our dough onto the flour surface. It's very sticky. I might add a little more flour to this. All right, what you're going to do is fold it into itself. So you're going to just fold it in. You can hear, I don't know if you can hear that, but you could hear, like, see the air bubbles here? You could hear like the air bubbles. So you're going to want to just flatten it out. Here's an air bubble right there. Take them out, and you're going to form this into a bowl. A ball. And kind of fold it into itself to where it makes like a seam here. And then you're going to go put it back into your bowl. We're going to flour the ball a little bit too. And again, get all these little air bubbles out, and you'll see them and you'll hear them. And then we're going to do this, put some plastic wrap over it, and put it in the refrigerator overnight. And then in the morning, we'll come back and we'll cook our bread. Okay, so you see this is where my seam kind of is. It is a little bit less sticky now, just that little bit of dough. I'm gonna put it back in here. We're gonna put a little plastic wrap on it, and we're gonna let that sit in the refrigerator. We'll come back in the morning and we'll cook our bread, and you're gonna see how good it looks. Can't wait. Okay, our bread has been sitting overnight. It looks good. Let me show you. So it doubled again. Now what you're going to do is you're going to set your oven to 450, and you're going to put, I use my Dutch oven here. It's hot because you're going to put this in the oven with the lid on while it's heating up, so that the Dutch oven can also be heated. You can use your cast iron. I do have a big cast iron one, but I'm going to use this Dutch oven for now. You can use anything that could go into the oven that has a lid, because you have to cook it with the lid for the first like 20 minutes, and then you lower the temperature. So this works the best. It kind of heats everything all evenly all around. So that is hot. My oven is preheated to 450. I'm going to put my dough on the parchment, if it'll come out here. You're going to put it on a piece of parchment paper. Now this still does look a little sticky, a little doughy, but I'm going to put that here, make a score in it, and then you could do those little, let me show you. To make the score in it, I'm just using a knife here. And then, you know, you can score the sides as well. And And if you sprinkle with just a little flour, when it's done cooking, it just kind of has that white to it. You know, it looks pretty. So we're gonna put our dough inside the hot Dutch oven. Be careful. Put the lid back on. 450, 20 minutes. Now, after 20 minutes, what you're going to do is lower the temperature to 400 and then do another 15 to 20 minutes. Check it after, 15 minutes, and you could go from there, but it should be another 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll see what our bread looks like when it's all done. Time is up. We had 20 minutes with 450, and then it was 20 minutes with the lowering it to 400 and taking the lid off. Look, I'm going to show you what this bread looks like. Looks pretty yummy and delicious.
Get in my belly!
Now, I don't like to cut into it when it's hot, but we will kind of take it out. Let me see if I have my thing here. We'll try and take it out and cut it so you guys can see what it looks like. It's pretty hot. I'm just going to flip it, I think. So the bottom is nice and brown. It's hot. And I am going to cut into it just so you can see what it looks like. Usually you don't want to cut it so soon. You want it to like rest a minute. This is not my bread knife. Let me get my bread knife. A lot of times when it's still hot, it's still kind of doing its thing in there and still kind of cooking. That's why you don't want to cut it, but I do want to show you guys. Let me take this thing off. I'll just burn myself. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Now, I've had this bread before. It does taste so good. You have no preservatives, no additives, no coloring, no sugar. You can't go wrong. It's just water, salt, and flour, and your sourdough. And now you have fresh bread. It does last a little bit longer than the regular bread, like in the bread maker. I'll put this in like a Ziploc bag and we'll just eat it up. So it's very good. You'll like it. This is more of a traditional. This is the way I am going to make the sourdough bread. I'm not going to make it in the bread maker. It is better this way. It's not so hard to make. It does take some time just because you have to do the overnight, which you don't have to, but because it takes so long to do that 30 minutes and 30 minutes and 30 minutes and and then the rise, it gets to the end of the day. So by then it makes sense just to put it in the refrigerator. So try it. Let me know what you think.